All right, it says that we are live. Hopefully, that is not false advertising by StreamYard. So, we'll give it a few seconds for the stream to catch up, and then I can confirm that it's actually live. All right. Yep, looks like it's going through. So, welcome everyone to this after show, I guess, of our original live stream, which occurred in Maine. So, I would like to say hi to my two
A week
partners
ago
in
tomorrow.
crime. We have Astronomy Live. How's it going?
Hey, it's going well. Thanks.
And we have Jared, AT2 Productions. How's it going?
The recovery has gone quite well.
Lots of alcohol, right?
Alcohol, peace and quiet. It sometimes it's good to have the kid over at the grandparents.
You know, I must say, you looked really adorable in that Hyundai.
You know, the new Gen Santa Fe, it was better than I expected, but still nowhere near my normal standard.
Well, at least it worked. So, unlike other vehicles that I could mention. All right,
which
guys.
which somehow survived the drive down.
All I gotta say is I just bit the bullet. I paid the $30 for the New Jersey Turnpike, and I just fucking gunned it, hoping for the best. It was like, nope, we ain't playing any fucking games today. We're just gonna go. We're just gonna fucking go, and 80 miles an hour all the way to Florida. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get on into this. I'm going to give y'all a bunch of updates and tell everyone how all of this went down. Also, we have a visitor. Big Mike, how's it going?
It's all right. Unexpected stream.
Yep, well, it is what it is. We might be getting a crash by Fifth Element. The chances of that happening are pretty much
Slim.
less than zero.
I was going to say, you invited him, right? I mean,
Yep.
he's got okay.
All he has to do is reply back, and he gets the link. That's the way it works. I don't want to give him the link immediately. I want him to be like, okay, where's my mic or where's my invite or whatever, and I'll send him the link. We'll get to him in a moment, guys. So let's start from the very beginning. So recently there was a solar eclipse, in case any of you have been living under a rock, and most of the country, to my understanding, was clouded out, or they were dealing with tornado warnings. So after Astronomy Live made the worst decision of his life by booking rooms in Texas, he decided to crash my party by booking rooms in Maine and carpooling with me on the way up. But oh no, there's more, because then Astronomy Live was like, okay, how about this? I know you were just going to bring your Nikon P1000 and probably a few GoPros, but what if we went like totally overboard and brought all the things? And I'm like, you mean all the things? He goes, yes, all the things, even some things that you don't have, which would go under the category of all the things. And in order to transport all the things, it obviously wouldn't fit in my Chevy Spark, so it would require a rental vehicle. And Astronomy Live, this crazy motherfucker, he did it. He booked us cabins with Wi-Fi capabilities, which is amazing for the live stream. And he helped us get a rental car so that we could transport all of our equipment to the location to capture the solar eclipse in all of its glory. It was quite an undertaking. So I want to say, Astronomy Live, even though you are a piece of shit for crashing my party, I have to say, thank you for crashing my party.
Thanks for letting me.
Yes. You're welcome.
I think it was worth it. I mean, It was better than sleeping in cars in a parking lot in freezing weather.
I mean, to be fair, guys, that is what I was going to do. I was just going to sleep in the car. But in fairness, I was going to be by myself, and only I would have to suffer. Whereas if Astronomy Live was there, I mean, I guess we could cuddle. But he didn't want to. He didn't want to cuddle. Apparently, that was a no-go from the very beginning.
Oh, so that's why you were leaning towards the SUV. You wanted the space.
I mean, the space was important, but having the Wi-Fi capability, having an actual room to sleep in, I think all of this was I think all of this added to the experience greatly. Let's put it that way. It ended up being a fantastic experience, and just a beautiful scene there in Maine, just south of Jackman. And we not only got a lodge in Maine, we got a lodge right where my own calculations said totality should be occurring, which is something that Flat Earth can't do.
Go figure.
So
at least until Shane steals whatever you made.
Oh, if he hasn't already. I mean, he's blocked me at this point, so I can't even tell. But yeah, about a month ago, I made a video predicting the upcoming eclipse, publishing my calculations, and mentioning and showing how Shane was really just reprojecting the globe. He was taking the globe prediction for the path of totality, reprojecting it onto an AE map, and calling that a flat Earth prediction. It's not.
Yeah.
It's driven by the globe.
It's driven by the globe. And guys, I just want you to know, pay no attention to the fact that the sun is 93 million miles away in his model. Pay no attention to that whatsoever. I'm sure it means nothing. Pause for effect. Pause for effect.
Yeah, I'm sure it doesn't do anything, right?
Yeah, I'm sure it doesn't do a goddamn thing. But Astronomy Live, you are screen sharing. Allow me to bring it up.
Yeah, so this was my prediction for the path of totality. The big bolded numbers with the date and time. This shows the path of totality that I presented in my video a month ago. I then updated on Twitter, extending the line a little bit further because, again, originally when I made the video a month ago, I was intending to be down here in Texas. That ended up not happening from the weather forecast.
Yeah, that was a bad idea.
Yeah, turned out it was a real bad idea. I mean, the whole thing was flipped on its head in terms of the odds of cloud cover from a month ago out to when it actually happened, where in the months leading up to the eclipse, the prediction based on historical data for the way weather usually is in the country at this time of year, that Texas had the best shot and the Northeast had a very low shot of clear skies. Well, that's exactly what happened. The Northeast, especially Maine, had beautiful skies and Texas had clouds. So had to cancel that reservation, had to make a new reservation in Maine, and I posted an update on Twitter extending the line further through Maine the rest of the way because that's where I ended up being. And so I ended up picking a cabin right where my calculation for totality had it, and it's not perfectly where the official center line of totality is because my calculations for the path of totality were assuming a spherical Earth, which is good enough for my purposes, but obviously not perfect, but still good enough to get us within totality. So we actually went to this cabin right here, Lake Parlin Lodge and Cabins, and so we were following what my calculations said we should see. We went there, and then we saw totality. So that simple feat is something that Flat Earth is utterly incapable of doing. That is something that even Walter Bislin's model specifically is incapable of doing. So Walter Bislin created a flat Earth dome model that tries to force fit a solution so that light is bending in just such a way as to make it appear that we're living on the side of the sphere. But in reality, the underlying situation is that those light rays are coming from a flat Earth dome above a flat Earth. However, even with trying to force fit a solution that would work, there are still some notable limitations with it, some things that it cannot recapitulate from reality. And one of those things very specifically is it cannot predict the path of totality. It has no explanation and no way of predicting where you would need to go to see totality. and exactly what the shadow size should be. Those are all things that I calculated myself and published myself, and then we followed that prediction. And what do you know? It worked.
Yep. And friendly reminder, Shane's model didn't predict the most recent eclipse. Go figure. I wonder why.
Because it's actually Walter's model, and that's one of the things Walter himself said it cannot do.
Now,
Amazing.
out of curiosity, just how far off of that center line prediction of totality were we?
About 20 Oh, how far off of my prediction?
Yeah.
Oh, let's see. Here, let me present it again.
Wasn't it like a kilometer, if that?
Oh, it's not even that. Oh, no.
Yeah, I was going to say it is less than that, but I'm curious to see what that comes up with for the distance from that center line of totality. Actually, where were the clearing down?
Yeah,
right
we
there.
were this one, right? We were right
Yep.
about here.
Right there. Yep.
Right there. And that is about 330 meters.
Nice.
33, there it is. Illuminati confirmed. So yeah, we were less than a kilometer. 330 meters is all we were from my prediction of where totality would the center line would be.
And we were there and we got amazing shots. Just absolutely amazing. And guys, I caught my money shot. The money shot for me was the diamond ring. I caught the diamond ring. I am so fucking happy. I'll be showing that image later on. I'll be screen sharing my my Twitter profile where the diamond ring image is posted. So if you want to see it now, you can go there and check it out. But I want to give people an update as to because the last time we spoke, I was on a Twitter space, and if you were in that Twitter space, great. If not, well, I'll give you an update anyway. I guess I should build up the updates by talking about what happened first. So let's lay the foundation. So we took 2 vehicles to see the solar eclipse, right? So we had a vehicle that my family owns because my vehicle was totaled because some jackass didn't know how to drive. RIP Chevy Spark. And so we had another Chevy Spark, and it was, again, my family's. It's one that I was borrowing while I was dealing with, insurance bullshit, that kind of thing. But that was the car I was driving for now, and I was going to drive it back to Florida afterwards so that I could pick up a different vehicle. By the way, if you work for a dealership, fuck you. Just outright. I want you to know you are the ass crack of humanity, and I wish you an early transmission failure. But anyway, moving on. So we took 2 vehicles, the Chevy Spark and the Hyundai rental car. And as we were driving up, I noticed that the car was acting weird. It was hesitating at random. And as we were driving and getting closer to our destination, it got worse. It got progressively worse until one time, at one moment, we were heading uphill a bit, and it was struggling to make it up the hill on the highway. And Astronomy Live was there, and I told him, bro, I don't think this car is going to make it. Or I said something along those lines. And he's like, bro, don't scare me like that. Don't scare me. Don't scare me. And I'm like, I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just being intellectually honest. I don't think this thing's going to make it. So we pulled off, if I remember correctly, we pulled off at the exit that we needed to get off at. But instead of going straight to the cottage or the cabins or whatever they're called, we stopped at an auto parts store so that they could pull the codes. And it came up with a P0324, if memory serves me.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, P0324. Like I said, if my memory is getting that right, that was a P0324, which is a knock sensor code, meaning that knock sensor is no longer giving information to the car's computer. So it doesn't know how to drive itself, essentially. It doesn't know how to mix the fuel in the air properly. And so it's knocking like a motherfucker. And there's not a goddamn thing that you can do about it. And as a result of this, it struggled to go up hills. it absolutely hated gravity. What? Yeah, believe me, we were wishing gravity didn't exist at that particular moment in time, but unfortunately, to flat earthers and the car, it does. So what we had to do was we would have to pick up speed going downhill so that we could make it up the next hill. And Astronomy Life, I'm going to tell the story real quick. While we were dealing with car troubles, someone else was also dealing with car troubles, but of a more instantaneous variety. Um, we passed deer going.
Oh, that guy.
That guy, yeah. So we passed some deer going towards the cabins, and they were right on the side of the road. As we passed the deer, a truck was going in the opposite direction, heading towards the deer. So I flashed my lights at him to try and warn him that, yo, there's some animals on the road. You may want to cool your shit. Well, he didn't heed my warning, and let's just say them deer they turned into mist. They turned into mist. And I remember Astronomy Live turning to me and goes, should we turn around? And I'm like, I can't turn around, bro. In any other situation, I would be more than happy to turn around and make sure he's okay. But I can't. I just can't, because if I turn around, we ain't gonna make it. But that was a hard decision to make.
I mean, fortunately, we did see someone else going the same direction a moment later. So, if they needed help, hopefully those people would have stopped and helped. We obviously couldn't. It wouldn't have been safe.
It wouldn't
it's
have been
getting
safe.
dark, and there's virtually no cell phone coverage up there. Like, I didn't have cell coverage. Like, if we needed to dial for emergency, my phone was not going through. So
my phone was spotty at best. I was surprised I was able to get internet connection at the cabins. I was very surprised I was able through LTE. It wasn't very fast, but at least I could get some stuff done. But we after utilizing conservation of momentum, that's what I was trying to say. We made it to the cabins and we were safe. Finally, we were safe. So we had to take the vehicle to a shop, and there it stayed for the solar eclipse. And we used the rental for everything else in the meantime. And then these jackasses abandoned me, kind of like JM Truth's real friends, just abandoned.
We made sure you were set.
Yeah, but it's funnier this way.
No, we transported Red here into town after the eclipse so that he could get a hotel room in town instead of being, like 10 miles out of town. So this was the night, the Monday night after the eclipse. We get him set up at a hotel. About 7:30, we're going around town trying to find a single restaurant. Not a single restaurant was open. I mean, this blew my mind personally. I mean, Jackman, obviously small town, it was a beautiful town, but not a single restaurant remained open at 7:30. We went into a place that looked like it was open. The only thing open was the bar, so we could get drinks, but the kitchen was closed. So finding food was quite a challenge. I ended up having a Hot Pocket that night.
And it was a very delicious Hot Pocket, you have to admit.
Do we have to admit it though?
It was those new diet Hot Pockets. Take out of wrapper, place directly in toilet. So after that was done, those scenes from Top Gear, it's like, oh, you have car trouble? Anyway.
Yeah, exactly. The rest of us just kept going.
That's what happened. But to make a long story short, we ordered the part was wrong, had to order it again. The part was right. Then the connector broke. Thankfully, we didn't have to order that because it's a common connector for automotive applications. So finally, after 3 days of being stranded in the middle of bumfuck Egypt, Maine, I was finally able to get the car up and running again and drive back to Florida. So let me explain what happened on my drive back. As I'm going down the hill to get back to Florida, again, I just left Jackman. I think I was maybe 15 minutes into my drive. There was this canopy of clouds. It was like a fog, if you will. So when I left Jackman, you could see, some blue sky, some clouds, that kind of thing. It was, dare I say, a normal sky situation. But as I'm going down the hill, down the mountain, there's this canopy that's just hovering over the road, maybe 20 feet over the road. It's like, okay, there's some fog, and I'll drive through it, and I'll be out the other side in no time. So I'm passing through New Jersey, and the canopy hasn't fucking left me yet, and it's been raining and pouring and drizzling and shitty all the way down. I didn't hit blue skies until South Carolina. So there was a solid cloud cover, solid fucking cloud from Maine to South Carolina. Top that shit. And then, as soon as I entered Florida, two great things happened. One, I got to see a rocket launch literally as I was entering my own state, which was awesome to see, by the way. It was a Falcon 9. And then I get on the phone with Astronomy Live, tell them that I saw Falcon 9, welcome back to Florida. That's a great way to be welcomed back home. And then as soon as I hang up the phone with Astronomy Live, my car starts acting up again.
Wah, wah, wah.
Now, listen, I know people here are going to think, and rightfully so, that Astronomy Live is bad luck. You all are going to say that it's totally his fault, and you all are going to say that he's a piece of shit and that he shouldn't have been, cramping my style. And I want you to know, as valid as that may be, it may sound, let's cut him some slack. It's not his fault that he's, cataclysmically unlucky.
Correlation is not causation. Now
we're using flat Earth logic for the next 15 minutes, so I'm going to need you to shut your mouth, okay? So I'm 120 miles away from home, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, brothers and sisters, and I have to do the, conserving my momentum trick again. And I don't know what's wrong with it because I changed that fucking knock sensor. My only guess is that there's a second one somewhere that's also bad because I think there's two on that vehicle. I could be wrong on that, but the only one that I know of was on the back of the engine, and I changed that myself. So I don't know what else is wrong with it. And what's weird is that the check engine light isn't on. Like, it was bucking and losing power and all of the same shit that it was doing in Maine. In fact, it was doing it even worse, but there's no check engine light. Make that make sense to me. It doesn't. And so right now that car is at my actual shop that I normally go to that fixes all of my shit, and they're working on it, and they say they know what the problem is. I will be talking to them tomorrow, getting that done, but it doesn't matter because I'm getting a new car tomorrow. Hopefully, assuming that the dealership doesn't completely fuck me over. But yes, 193 kilometers away from home, and it made it. That car is a goddamn trooper. It was able to push through and persevere. It made it all the way home. I am so happy about that. And yes, even though Astronomy Live tried to fuck me with his bad luck, I was able to, push past those challenges, and I made it home. So Astronomy Live, better luck next time, I guess.
You're welcome for the lodge cabin thing.
That was a damn good find, though.
It was a damn good find. But now, with all that out the way, let's go ahead and get into the actual solar eclipse. So, Astronomy Live, I would like for you to present, if possible, your incredible image of Earthshine. Because that's the first thing I want to talk about. And I also want to talk about the controversy surrounding that image. And one person was asking in the live chat, who's Fifth Element? Oh, don't worry. We're going to get there with this.
Are we going to get there?
We're going to get there. We're going to get there with this. And I want people to know that I called that guy out by name on Twitter. He hasn't hit me back. Imagine that.
Imagine that. Imagine
So,
that. He was
shocking.
Can I tell this story?
No, don't worry. I'm going to give you that option. But guys, just letting you know before we get into it, I did call him out. And if you wish to call him out, you can just retweet my tweet. All right, Astronomy Live, I am sharing your screen. Go ahead and I think first you should tell the story and then talk about the image.
Well, I first want to talk about yesterday. Okay.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
Yeah, because this guy was jerking me around on Twitter yesterday, well, I guess it was yesterday. Yes, yesterday was Saturday. So you know how Flat Earth Friday extends into Saturdays, and they were continuing to have their little group therapy session. So he wanted me to come in there to defend my photo, right? Because when I posted this, first things first, I took this photo during totality. You can see the features on the moon here from Earthshine reflecting off the moon during totality. Beautiful. We have on the right, hopefully you can see my cursor. On the right-hand side, we have Mare Crisium. We have the Sea of Tranquility about here. We have Tycho Crater over here. So it is definitely the moon. So I post this on Twitter basically as soon as totality is over. I downloaded this from the camera after the eclipse was over and downloaded the raw photo and without touching it, uploaded it to Twitter. We've also posted contrast enhanced versions to bring out the features, but we've also uploaded just this photo with no edits, just raw, literally straight from the camera, wirelessly to the phone. Okay. He calls it fake, right? He says that we photoshopped it to make it look like the moon, right? So I, wanted him to defend that accusation. He claims that it's fake, so present your evidence that I faked it, right? Well, he doesn't do that, but he wanted me to come in and defend this photo on Flat Earth Friday. Actually, he wanted Red to come in to defend it on Flat Earth Friday. You were driving back. What day did you get back, Red?
I got back let's see. I believe I got back. Yeah, it was Saturday. I got back Saturday.
Yeah, you were.
I got back Saturday morning at 1 o'clock at 1 a.m. I believe.
Right. So you'd been driving for a couple days. You were a little tired, so it's kind of understandable that you didn't.
Let's be clear here. Let's be clear here, ladies and gentlemen. It was 13 hours on day one, and I believe it was 14 hours on day two. It was a lot of driving. I was exhausted, and I'm going to go ahead and read this tweet to you guys because I think it's absolutely great. So let me bring this up. I'm not going to show it on screen. I'm just going to pull it up on my phone because who the hell cares? But you'll just have to take my word for it that I actually said this shit. So I said, yeah, 1 day ago, at Red's Rhetoric, would you like to come to Flat Earth Friday? Show us your eclipse pic you kept spamming to show it's the moon. My reply, I'm sure you're capable of linking to that image yourself. I just got done driving for 14 hours after driving 13 hours the day before. Normally, your echo chamber has little appeal to me, but as of right now, I do not give 1 ounce of a single shit. I'm going to bed. So he was kind of butthurt about that. So he retweeted that tweet by saying, "Oh, Reds is running away. Reds is running away." And I'm like, no, you disingenuous piece of shit. I'm tired. I just got done driving a fucking marathon many times over. Like what? I'm not superhuman. And meanwhile, this jackass doesn't want to get off his ass to go see a solar eclipse.
It's one of those where you can say, I'm sorry that I have a life that is productive to society. Perhaps you should try to model yourself in that way.
Yeah, I actually provide a valuable service. Therefore, my life has some meaning to it. So I kind of want to fucking live. And so getting onto Flat Earth Fridays to argue with some dipshits while I'm driving through South Carolina, Georgia, Florida. Yeah, not exactly an appealing thing to do in that particular moment in time. I'm busy is what I'm trying to say. So yeah, that's what it was. So I may have gotten the hours backwards, but it was 13 hours on day 1, 14 hours on day 2. Yeah, I drove more on day 2. So yeah, anyway, Astronomy Live, please continue.
So you were understandably headed to bed when you got back into Florida. And meanwhile, I thought it was weird how he invited you, not me. I'm the one who took the photo with the camera I had on your telescope. So he then says, come join, and he posts the link to the space. Okay, I do that. I join the space. And then I say, so now what? You're not even a speaker in here. So he says, I don't need to speak for you to present your evidence. Excuse me? And so I said, excuse me. No, sir. You challenged Red on the photo I took of Earthshine because you thought he wouldn't show. I show up instead, and now you won't grab a mic and back up your accusation that I faked it. It's up to you to support your accusation. He says he claimed it was real. Burden is on him. I was the one who took the photo, and it's real. It's on you to back up your accusation that I faked it. You failed. You refused to mic up and even present your case. You're done. So he
doesn't seem to understand the burden of proof there. So Fifth Element tip from the top, my guy. When you make a positive claim, you have a burden. You made a positive claim. The positive claim that you made was that the photo is fake.
Yeah, let me read the tweet he said, I think a day before that, where he said, in reply to you, he said, too bad you didn't capture any moon. All you did was Photoshop the eclipse. So he's accusing us of not having captured the moon during the eclipse at all.
Actually, back that up for a second, because he said multiple things in that same spirit, no doubt, but he said multiple things to suggest that I was faking it. Like, for example, he told Astronomy Live that I admitted to quote unquote editing the photo. So he didn't add any context to that. He didn't say exactly how I edited the photo because he wants to try and leave it purposefully ambiguous because he wants it to sound more nefarious than it actually is. I just bumped the contrast. Yeah, that's literally all I fucking did was bump the contrast. But he's not going to say it like that because if he did, then he's going to look like a jackass.
And that is in reference to the version where you did bump the contrast. That is not in reference to the original photo that I posted many times over.
Exactly. And I told them that. I told them that, listen, Astronomy Live has the real one. Here's the real one. I even posted the untouched one straight off the memory card. Here you go. But if you want to really see the surface features of the moon, here's one I took with the contrast bumped up, and I also placed it right next to my image I took at a different point in time with the Nikon P1000 of the moon, and you can see they're exactly the same. The moon has a certain pattern to it, and I aligned them in the same orientation. At least I put them in the same orientation, one right next to each other. You can see they look exactly the same.
Yeah,
I actually sent that to you, Astronomy Life, if you want to pull that up later.
Yeah, no, I'll let you pull that up later. But yeah, no, again, that's in reference to the version where you bumped up the contrast. But he said that he made a general statement, not just about. He didn't just make a statement about that version. He also made a statement that in general we didn't capture any moon and all we did was Photoshop the eclipse. That implies we faked the original photo, not just oh you altered one and I don't like that you altered one by bumping the contrast. No, it's a more general claim that we faked the details here. And he has failed to support that claim with any evidence. And when challenged, I went into Flat Earth Friday. He was in there as a listener. I sat there for 30 minutes waiting for him to grab a mic. He wouldn't grab a mic and defend his accusation. He would not even have the guts to come on there while I was on there to tell me to my face that I was a liar, that I was faking it, and oh, by the way, here's the evidence supporting it, which seems to be non existent. So after waiting 30 minutes for him to then not grab the mic and for him to then say he doesn't need to grab the mic, saying that I don't need to speak for you to present your evidence. Well, I've already presented my evidence. The photo's right there. Okay, so what else do you want me to do? And here we have the EXIF data from the raw photo, and we can see this is a CRE3 file. This is a raw photo from the Canon. Image quality, raw, unedited, raw photo right here. I have this raw photo. You're welcome to analyze it and show me forensic evidence that I faked it. You're not going to find any. I didn't fake it. This is straight from the camera. But after not miking up and supporting his own accusation, I finally left. So what does he do? He waits a few hours, and then he's like, oh, I'm fine. I'm going to mic up now. I'm going to request a microphone. I'm not kidding. This was now in the afternoon of Saturday. He's like messaging me and sending screenshots of how he's now requested a microphone hours after I've left the space. He's such a child. I mean, this is literally childish behavior that he wouldn't do it. He's just passive aggressively not even miking up when I'm in there after he challenged me to come in there after he previously challenged you. I go in there. He doesn't mic up. I leave. Now, hours later, oh, I'm going to grab a mic now. Fine, come back in. No, that's not how this works. Maybe he has nothing better to do than sit around in that space all day on a Saturday, but I had other things to do. I was literally not home at that point. I had other things to do with my life, other things to do with my weekend, and I was not home, and I was not at the PC where I could present this, what you're seeing here from Digital Photo Professional, showing the EXIF data, the raw data of the photo. You know, I was prepared to present it that morning when I was in there while I was waiting for 30 minutes, but instead he just wasted my time and then waited till I left to then try to claim some sort of victory, saying that I was running away. And then I just linked back saying, no, here, I was here for 30 minutes. I was in there. You did nothing. And now we are here tonight. I extended the invite yesterday as well, saying 9:30 tomorrow, you can come join our live stream. That's your next opportunity. You lost your opportunity, so you're going to act like a child. You're going to receive the consequences of that action, just as you would.
And apparently this is true. Fifth Element isn't worth your time. He thinks 1 × 1 = 2.
Oh, I know. He's not.
Wait, what?
82. I'm going to need you to grab an oven mitt before you commence face palmage. I will not be responsible for your blunt force trauma injuries.
You know, I wonder how many times people who will come out with something that stupid actually genuinely believe it, and how much of it is just them playing the part to get a reaction out of people.
It's listen, we're talking to someone. If this guy legitimately thinks 1 × 1 = 2, then dear fucking God, I have to ask the obvious question. So 82 Productions, let's ask the question on the assumption that this is true. I don't know if it is, but on the assumption that it is this guy a dumb fuck by choice or disability?
I'm thinking it'll be okay. This actually flirts with the line, because what happens when you eat all of the lead paint?
Oh man.
You do it by choice, but then heavy metal poisoning does kind of fuck with your brain.
I mean, if he just were mentally unwell, if this were just disability, I wouldn't expect that he would be this actively passive aggressive, childish about everything. Where, oh, I'm gonna challenge you to show up, but if you actually show up, I'm not going to show up. But then when you leave, I'll say I showed up, and then try like. It is such a juvenile behavior, and it speaks to a willfulness. It's a choice to me. I don't see it as a disability.
Fair enough. Fair enough. To that end, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show a screenshot here. It's not really a screenshot, but we're going to make it a screenshot because why the hell not? I am going to present something. So let me find this thing, go for window. All right. You should be able to see that.
Yep.
All right. So this is a freeze frame of a GoPro shot. This GoPro was attached to my head. Here you can see my beautiful, beautiful, gorgeous 800 Edge HD. It's known as the Baller Telescope. Thank you, Slice Arcane, for naming this telescope. But you can see this camera attached, and you can see the screen that is on the camera. That's the raw image on the camera. We didn't even have the opportunity to remove the memory card yet. You can see the image right there. The image of Earthshine. So this jackass wants to say that we faked the footage, or we faked this image with Photoshop or whatever. Quick question, Astronomy Live. Does that camera have Photoshop?
Built in? No.
No,
And-
no, it
and-
doesn't.
I also just sent you a link in my video of the upload of the Eclipse from your GoPro footage. You can see if you pause it at about 120 to 121 in my video, you can literally see me taking that photo. If you look at the towards the top of the screen, you can see my camera screen in your GoPro footage, and you can see that photo popping up as it's
Excellent.
taken.
Yeah, so we have multiple shots of this. So basically, we have multiple pieces of evidence to show that this was a real photo. It was taken during the eclipse. So we have the data that's from the file itself. We have a GoPro shot that was literally attached to my head, showing him taking the image and showing me the image off of the camera after he took it. There's really nothing more that needs to be said here. So if this jackass has any evidence that you faked this this shot, I would very much like to see it.
Oh yeah. Another one I want to call out, in addition to Fifth Element, is Nemo Tap 777, the guy who's got the Big Lebowski avatar on Twitter. He's got the dude, with the glasses.
Nice.
Yeah,
He's a cool dude.
he's a cool dude. He says, let's see, what did he say? He said, oh yeah, he said, let me scroll this back a bit. He says I faked the picture, of course. Oh yeah, he called the raw file the rough file. I don't even. He doesn't even know what a raw file is. So he then said, "You
I'm a
faked it.
photographer.
Yeah, you faked it. We all know. You ain't holding tons secret, buddy. Hey, you're getting better editing, just so you know. You keep doing that. Globetardia appreciates your efforts." So then I offered him, the chance to come on the live stream we were going to have tonight and explain how I was faking it. He says, "Explain to whom? Your audience?" I said, "Yeah, my audience and Red's audience." He says, "Your audience of 5 idiots?" And then he said he wanted me to bring, he wanted 1,000 followers at least. So I show him, I've got like just about 33,000 on YouTube. You've got how many? At least 30 something thousand. What are you up
Yeah,
to? 37,000 now.
37, I think.
37,000. He says, "Oh my God, you're an influencer." And then he kept moving the goalposts. In the end, he wanted me to show that I've been able to get at least 1,000 viewers in a live stream before, which I have. So I posted that screenshot, and he said it was just as fake as my picture, and so he wasn't going to do it. So okay, so he's just going to call everything fake and come up with BS excuses to not come in here. But again, where's your evidence I faked it? So you've got all these guys claiming that, I faked this photo. This is where they've been reduced to. They've been reduced to screaming fake, 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 because they can't live with the reality. They can't live with seeing this photo. And there's a lot of others who go on and on about, well, okay, you saw it during totality, but it was only a silhouette as it was approaching and leaving.
Oh, and speaking of moving the goalpost.
Yeah, exactly. So the analogy I've said is that this is like you have security camera footage of a silhouette, a silhouetted creature or person rather, entering your house and leaving your house. But you have indoor security camera footage showing their illuminated face as they stab your wife to death. But because they were only a silhouette as they were entering and leaving the house, you think they should go off scot-free. They shouldn't be convicted. This is how it works in their mind.
Yeah.
It's a silhouette as they're coming and going. Therefore, we don't know who it is, even though we've got a close-up of their face as they're doing the deed.
I would not want to have this dude on a jury trial.
Can you imagine?
Just dear fucking God, like, please make it stop. Just make it stop.
Oh my God. How many murderers would get off if flat earthers were sitting on juries? Or you just have, 11 very angry people in the jury room and one obstinate jerk who won't convict because, well, we don't have video of them heading to and leaving the scene of the crime where their face is identifiable, but we have a close-up of their faces they're doing the crime. Okay, great, thanks.
He's the type of guy that would be in the courtroom and go, this Daryl Brooks character, I'm feeling this guy. I mean, with Daryl Brooks, who can really say? But anywho, but on top of that, I wanted to show one more. Let me bring up this image, this picture right here. Okay, let's copy that image because I'm going to do it on a different screen because fuck that. All right, we're going to open this up in here because I want people to see that there's no ambiguity here with the Earthshine photo. Okay, screen sharing right now. Why is that not working? Oh, nope, it's working now. It's working now. Okay, cool. So you should be able to see that. So what I did was two things. I orientated these two images to be the same, and I bumped the contrast on the Earthshine photo just a bit. And you can see the surface features between the two. They are exactly the same. So you see this part of the moon that makes this little hook thing and these two, the fucking Mickey Mouse ears bullshit. That's right here. And here's this little hook thing right here. It's literally the fucking moon. Literally, that's what it is. So anyone that wants to make the claim that, oh, you guys didn't see that it was the moon, you guys did not capture evidence showing it was the moon, you are full of shit. I want to make that abundantly clear. You are, without fail, full of all of the shit.
Including the guy who said he would give me $1,000 for this photo. Yeah, he's doing that.
Of course he's not going to fucking do it.
Because of course it was. Yeah.
Because any evidence that debunks their horse shit is automatically going to be rejected. They're going to claim it's CGI or fake in some other way, or NASA real-time hacked your camera or some bullshit like that. Like, dude, look at this. Look at this. It's clearly the moon. So any jackass that wants to go around saying that we did not capture the moon during the eclipse, you're wrong. Yes, we did. And not only that, but I want people to understand another feature of the moon. It's lumpy.
Oh, yes.
It's
pull that up?
it's a lumpy object. It's not perfect. It has some blemishes on its surface, and as a result, it's a little bit lumpy. And Astronomy Live, I'm sure you can see where this is going. I'm wondering if you can help me out with that.
Yeah. You want me to pull that up?
Yeah, absolutely, please.
Okay. Let me.
Because not only are we showing lunar surface features, we're going to show another characteristic of the moon in our shots.
Yeah.
So let me bring this up.
So yeah, because the claim I've seen others claim that, well, it looks too perfectly round, in the photos. Well, there's a mountain range very clearly right there. This is not a perfectly smooth edge. You can see some lumpiness to it. This is again through your Edge HD, the 8-inch, and at full magnification, when you zoom in on this, yeah, you can very very clearly see that is not perfectly perfectly smooth. That is the lumpy moon, without a doubt.
So the lunar surface has a certain look to it. Let's call it a fingerprint. We see that fingerprint in the Earthshine image that we took. And just to be clear, Astronomy Life, that's one single shot.
Yes, this is one single unedited frame, and you can very clearly see. I mean, even here, if I zoom in on this, let's go to 100% on this. Come over here to the edge. Is that perfectly smooth?
Nope.
Nope, it is not. It is not perfectly smooth. So just because it looks perfectly smooth if I zoom all the way out and post it to Twitter, yeah, but this is like a massive, high megapixel image from a Canon 90D, and when you zoom in on the edge, it's not perfectly smooth. It's far from it, actually. Again, if I come over here to this side, yeah, that's not perfectly smooth.
But we have a question from the from the live chat. So the Starman, on behalf of Fifth Element, but how can you see Earth shine from Earth?
Well, you can see it during totality when the sun is covered. And if you were standing on the moon's surface looking back up at Earth, what would you see? You would see a fully illuminated Earth, except for the portion covered by the moon's shadow. So all of that light from Earth, of reflected sunlight off of Earth, is now reflecting off the moon and reflecting itself back to Earth. Now, by the time that light comes back to Earth, of course, that is fairly dim. You're only going to see that when the glare of the sun is obscured by the moon during totality. But when it is during totality, you can capture this. Now, if we look at the information on this, this was a 1/60th of a frame, 1/60th of a second exposure at 25,600 ISO, cranked all the way up. So very dim. And even in this shot, you can see it's fairly dim, especially compared to all this white light. Why does it look like the inside of a loading room in the Matrix in here? Because that is the solar corona. And in order to see Earthshine, you have to deliberately overexpose the corona to the point that it is pure white. Now, if I reduce the exposure like this, yeah, no, you can see the solar corona. But now, same camera, same telescope, you don't see the Earthshine. Now, for those of us who have established object permanence and understand that just because I change the exposure, the object doesn't go away, that's still the same object. It's just that the exposure is much faster now, and therefore we do not see Earthshine. In fact, this is 1/6400th of a second. Same ISO, 25,600, but 1/6400th of a second. That's what you get. And even here, if you look at the corona closest to the edge of the moon and sun, it's almost washed out, right? It's very white, and that's at 1/6400th of a second versus 1/60th of a second. So yes, when you go to 1/60th of a second, you can see the dim Earthshine on the moon, but the corona becomes completely overexposed.
Yeah. By the way, you just insulted everyone that loves to play peekaboo.
Yeah, all those little babies and children who don't understand object permanence. It's real funny, isn't it?
It is absolutely adorable. But On top of that, I want to I want to understand something. Mark made a good point. 90D weak sauce, that's 910 less than the P1000.
I mean, I guess that's fair, but
So I guess the question is, Astronomy Live, why did you use such a inferior camera?
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So, you want to show me that beautiful Earthshine footage from the P1000 you got there?
Anyway, moving on. So we're going to go over one other thing that that the douchebag Fifth Element seems to have a problem with. So Astronomy Live, quick question: why did we not get Earthshine or whatever an hour before totality or an hour after totality?
For the same reason you don't get the solar corona an hour before totality or an hour after totality. The solar corona is still there, but you can't see it because of all the daylight. Yeah, this, again, 1/6400th of a second, really fast exposure, but it's still way dimmer than daylight. And so when the sun isn't blocked, the glare of the sun is completely washing that out. So if it can wash that out, obviously it can also wash out the thing that is so dim that in this exposure is totally black. But again, just because it looks black in that exposure doesn't mean there isn't light there. And when you crank up the exposure up to 1/60th of a second, yes, it's there. But it is incredibly, incredibly dim.
And
That is
also a quick question. In order to have any hope of seeing Earthshine, we had to remove the solar filter, right?
Oh, yes.
So what would happen if we, you know, just, oh, I don't know, took the solar filter off before totality?
You would destroy the camera most likely. You might start to melt anything plastic inside the optical tube just from the massive amount of heat that would be generated in there from the massive amount of sunlight being concentrated by the mirrors. It would be a bad day. It would be
It
a
would be
real bad day.
it would be a bad day to not have a solar filter on while looking at the sun.
And it would accomplish nothing because even if the telescope were to remain undamaged and the
Oh
camera,
no, it would accomplish something. It would just, completely fuck your shit up.
I mean, yes, it would turn your telescope to slag most likely, or at least components of it. But even if it didn't, it would accomplish nothing because all of that glare is going to wash out Earthshine before you can see it. So
Mm.
if you look at the moon during the day, and flat earthers don't seem to understand this most times, but if you look at, say, a crescent moon, a thin crescent moon during the day, if you can spot it away from the sun, you will notice that the blue sky covers the part that would normally be illuminated by Earthshine. Now, if you wait till nightfall, you can see Earthshine. And I've got a photo of this. Let me pull this up for a second. It's not. I think it was it was a Black Magic photo. It wasn't from the Canon 90D. So let me pull this up. I posted this to Twitter some time before the eclipse. But let's see here. But yeah, so is it here? Is it here? Is it here? Let me scroll back. Scroll back. Okay, it might have been on my other account. Let me look up that. But nevertheless, so if you wait for nightfall, yes, you can see Earthshine. So you don't even have to wait for an eclipse to test this in terms of when you can and when you can't see Earthshine. Here we go. Here we go. Red, if you want to pull this up, I'll send it to you in chat so you can pull this up. Screen share this for me.
Oh, I have to do the work now. Let's see what we have here.
Now, this was my first light photo getting my 8-inch scope back in operation after I had to do surgery on it. And this is an HDR photo that I made using the Black Magic and the 8-inch telescope. in order to combine a couple different exposures and be able to pull out Earthshine with the bright crescent moon. Now, if I hadn't done that, the crescent part that is illuminated by sunlight would be totally washed out and white. But you can see most of the moon only because of Earthshine. And if you try to see that during the day, you're not going to see the Earthshine. You're just going to see blue sky. That's my point. Now, the flat earthers seem to think the blue sky is behind the moon and we're seeing through the moon. No, that's not how that works. The atmosphere is closer to us than the moon. The moon is technically in the geocorona, but that is not causing the blue sky of your daytime sky. That part of the atmosphere is much, much closer to us than the moon. So blue sky in front of the moon, which is bright enough to cover up the Earthshine part, but not bright enough to cover up the part illuminated by sunlight, the crescent. So even a crescent moon, if you get far enough away from the sun where it's thick enough of a crescent, it is possible to see it during the day. But if you wait for nightfall, you can see sometimes Earthshine like this.
So we do have a question. Let me go ahead and bring this up. The question, but why can't we see any stars? Derpity derp derp.
So during totality, you can see stars. Let's see.
Well, we saw Venus, and Fifth Element thinks that was the fucking moon.
Let me pull this up. Let me see here. I wonder if this will work.
Yes, guys. During a solar eclipse, he thought Venus was the moon.
No.
Just think about that for a second.
I don't want to. Do I have to?
Yes, you have to.
You have to. You chose to be here today.
Why did I do that? Let's see if I share. Hopefully this will work. Maybe it will. Maybe it won't. Can you see my video?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So in the left-hand side of this video, which I'm just going to set to loop. Okay, it's set to loop. So on the left side of the video are a couple of dots. One are two dots. There's actually a pair of dots very close to each other at about the 10 o'clock position extended from the sun and moon. You see that?
You can circle it with your cursor.
Can you see the cursor here?
Yes.
Okay, so right here, this double star, these are stars. Down here, another star. So you can see stars, but I'm having to expose so intensely here that, as you can see, the whole inner part of the solar corona is just totally washed out. But yes, you can see stars during totality if you know how to do it and if you crank the exposure up enough. But at that point, you're losing, a great bit of detail here on the solar corona itself.
Gee, what gave it away? But that's how photography works. Go figure. But with that, we move on to the next thing I wanted to discuss, which will probably be the last thing we discuss. AT2 Productions. Yes, back in 2017, we had a drone, and we were going to fly this thing during the eclipse, during totality, and we did, and it was shit. Because I forget what we did. What did we do? Did we duct tape someone's phone to the landing legs of the drone?
It was suspended between the front two landing feet.
Yeah, it was either someone's phone or someone's basic bitch GoPro. It was horrible, basically.
And as a reminder, this was a not entry level, but upper low tier drone from DJI back in 2017 that was picked up the day before at one of the many trips to Walmart that SciStrike took.
Yeah, we picked it up at Walmart back when I guess DJI and Walmart had a good relationship. I don't think they have that relationship anymore.
Yeah,
so tell you how long ago that was, but we launched the drone in 2017, and the footage, I would argue, was completely unusable. It was dog shit. So we wanted to fix that for this go around. And this drone that I have is the DJI Maverick Pro, which already has a camera attached to it with a gimbal, so it doesn't look like shit. And AT2 Productions was the pilot of that drone during the solar eclipse. So AT2 Productions, I would like you to take a moment and describe what you saw when you were flying the drone.
Well, on first launch, once I got the orientation of where the shadow was coming from, because when it took off, and those who were there for the live stream heard us fire it up and it go to altitude, I could start to see where the shadow of totality was coming towards us. And once I got that alignment right, I just let it happen. And it was, I hope it came out as well as it looked on screen.
Oh,
that
it did.
We got the totality right in the middle while still seeing diminished, but still actual daylight around it on the sides.
Yeah, we did capture that, and that was an amazing shot. Another amazing shot was you were looking at the side of the mountain there when totality was finished, and
Yeah,
and the light was starting to come back, and you can see like the entire mountainside just light up. That was an amazing shot. And so I put that part in my video. I put the everything going dark from the drone's perspective in my video. Just chef's kiss. So I wanted to completely blow 2017 out of the water. I think we accomplished that goal. We did more for this go than we did back in 2017. Totally without it's not even a competition. They're not even in the same class. So the next solar eclipse isn't going to happen for another 20 years, at least in the United States. I'm happy with this. I can die happy knowing that we did this solar eclipse all the justice that it deserved. We traveled to where the weather was perfect. And even though we had car troubles, I just see that as character building. Who else is going to the solar eclipse in 2044?
2045.
2045.
Yeah, it's 45, and isn't the U.S. part only out in like Montana or North Dakota?
Oh no, it goes through Florida.
It goes through Florida, right?
That's the one that goes through Florida?
2045, yeah. It cuts from northwest to southeast, and it hits Florida dead on.
Are we sure? Because I thought it was 2044. Maybe I got that wrong.
No, I'm pretty sure it's 2045.
Let's see if the Googles can help me out here.
August 12th, 2045.
Then a total solar eclipse will occur on Monday, August 22nd, 2044. Oh, that's Canada.
Yeah, no, 2045 is the big one for the US.
Okay.
Okay, so
it's like 6 minutes of totality. It's insane.
Okay.
Oh yeah, yeah. Seeing that one, it's starts in Northern California, goes through Nevada, Utah. What's that?
California, Nevada, Utah, Colorado, Kansas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Mississippi, Alabama, and Florida.
And damn near all of Florida.
That's pretty fucking awesome. And 2044 is going to be in Canada, so who the fuck cares?
Yeah.
Canada with their Tim Hortons and their bags of milk. Get cartons. Fucking heathens. But with that, we have 2 videos that have been made in going over the solar eclipse, as well as a live stream of the entire event. And we're going to finish off with that explanation because Astronomy Live was having a conversation with these jackasses on Twitter, as mentioned previously, and they said that we did not film the entire thing. And I'm like, we had a live stream from the very moment of first contact to the very moment we got the full face of the sun back. What the fuck are you talking about? And not only that, but I shared the link to the live stream on my Twitter page. It's still pinned on my Twitter page. So these jackasses are making a claim that they could easily fact check in 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be a number of seconds, but God forbid that the individuals telling you to quote do your own research don't do their own research. Like,
yeah,
this was the actual fuck, guys.
This was another thing that Fifth Element was also flip-flopping on constantly, because he wanted to, I guess, try to argue that we should have been able to see Earthshine an hour before, but that's not how the atmosphere works, for one thing. But what I said was, we did record it an hour before and after totality as a silhouette during the partial phases of the eclipse. His response was simply, so let's see it. And then, AT2, you linked to our live stream, to which his reply was, I'm not talking to you. Like, again, childish, passive-aggressive nonsense. And I said, what does it matter? He's right. Here's the live stream. We had it. And then he said to me, he said, too bad you didn't capture any moon. Oh, wait, sorry. That was the older statement. He said, didn't live stream when I asked, so that's irrelevant. Excuse me? You said you wanted to see it in reply to me saying that we captured it as a silhouette. Again, my analogy. Murderer go into house. You see him as a silhouette coming in. You see him as a silhouette coming out. We see his face doing the murder. But it's not that dude because he's just a silhouette at times. Excuse me?
Mm-hmm. It's, like I said, this guy would be horrible on a jury. Horrible. Absolutely. That murderer is going free.
Any murderer is going free.
Man, it's something. It really, really is something. But I wanted to end on this note, which is because we've been going for an hour, and I'm not going to wait for this jackass forever. I'm tired and I want to go to bed. I got a big day tomorrow, and unlike him, I kind of want to be productive on said day. So I'm going to end with this. Fifth Element, if you are watching this, you probably will later, or people will at least tell you about it. I'm calling you out to actually have a discussion that's not within one of your fucking echo chambers. We will come on a live stream that's not on Twitter, that you'll still be able to enter with your cell phone, because apparently that's all people have nowadays. God forbid people buy themselves a fucking laptop. But anyway, that rant aside, I'm calling you out to have this conversation without your flat earth buddies holding your hand the entire way through. Show us, tell us, demonstrate that the Earthshine image that Astronomy Life took is fake. Tell us how you came to that conclusion. Tell us what analysis you did. Tell us your methodology, all that good shit. Tell us. I would very much like to hear this. Or you can do the other option, which is to ignore it, ignore this call out, run away like you always do, while at the same time shilling Flat Earth Fridays to, oh, come on in, pick up a mic, while you yourself won't pick up a mic. Go figure. So, guys, I just want to say that this trip was a complete success, car troubles aside. It was a complete success. We got all the shots. We did everything we wanted to do. The drone footage was fucking amazing. So thank you, 82 Productions, for being the drone pilot for the solar eclipse. Couldn't have done it without you. And congratulations, Astronomy Live, for getting the money shot. Although my telescope helped. Yeah, let's be honest here.
Yeah, I'm sure glad that I twisted your arm into bringing it.
Yeah, and how could I say no when you're the one paying for the rental? And also, AT2 Productions. Would you like to inform everyone the nickname for the telescope, or should I say its
Oh,
actual name now?
I'm actually working on a logo that is going to be turned into a sticker to go onto said telescope.
Kinky. Okay, what are we thinking here?
I will actually just go ahead and share my screen because, like I said, I am in the middle of working on it.
So at Red, have you ever used the edge while edging? Unfortunately, in order to get the answer to that question, you will have to subscribe to my OnlyFans. Boom. Baller. I believe it's supposed to be badass, not big ass, but I think I can deal with that.
Well, but the question is, do we censor or uncensor the second word?
Oh, we're not going to censor a goddamn thing.
All right, then. Yeah, 105 is good. Now let's go ahead and...
So the badass long-lensed empirical recorder, baller. So we have 3 telescopes that we can turn to in a pinch. We have Big Blue, we have Megadeth, and we have Baller. Love it. Absolutely love it. It's so beautiful. Isn't it beautiful, Astronomy Live?
It's beautiful.
It's fucking gorgeous is what it is. And its first trip out, it caught Earthshine. It's already producing Flat Earth Butthurt, and it's so fucking good.
Massive quantities.
Massive quantities. And to think, we did have to make some adjustments and some modifications with Velcro and fishing weights, but hey, it worked out. I can't believe we got that right on the first try.
On the first try, that did surprise me. I was happy about that.
And I was like, okay, let's see if this works. Did we seriously get that right on the first try? And then you're like, yeah, we got it right on the first try. Holy crap, it's balanced. And it tracked super well too.
Yeah, it did. It did a great job.
Did a fantastic job. So that's the sticker that's going to go on the telescope. By the way, quick thing, 82. Can we make the logo orange?
Why do you want it orange? Aren't your colors red, white, and black?
Yes, correct. However, the Edge HD is all orange anodized everything. You've seen it. So we should probably go with that same color scheme, right? Or would that be wrong to do?
It's a question of how on brand you want it. Hang on, let me go ahead and
because
save that.
Isn't the Celestron colors the anodized orange, at least for the Edge?
It is, but this is where, do you want it to be their color scheme or your color scheme?
Ah, damn. That is a good question. I think we should flip a coin on this one. So let's do this. Heads, we're going to do my color scheme. Tails, we're going to do the Celestron color scheme. So let's find out. Flip a coin.
See, Chad is saying red, and actually there is a nice suggestion from Justin Franks, which I will need actually, I'll check to see if I still have the file. That's your actual R logo, and put the big R at the end as that.
That would be pretty cool. Why didn't this work? Hang on. Flip a coin.
It's heads.
There you go. My colors. It's red, bitch.
All right. let's.
Whenever you have a difficult decision, just flip a coin. Let fate decide. CGI. I guess here they might have a point, but at least now we know. So with that, we're going to go ahead and end this because it's now 11 p.m. and I got a big day tomorrow, and I know that y'all have work because we're actually productive members of society. So before we go, I'm going to give it to Astronomy Live. Astronomy Live, say what you guys say and get the fuck out.
I guess this I'll say to just everyone who thinks that I faked this photo. I'm welcome to I'm happy to provide the raw CR3 file for forensic analysis to anyone who doubts me and wants that file. But I did not fake the photo, and you can have it yourself. You can have the CR3 file and show me the evidence that I somehow faked this photo. I did not, and we saw totality. We saw the moon in front of the sun. We saw the moon approaching the sun. We saw the moon leaving the sun as a silhouette. And as I said, just like catching a murderer in the act, we saw the face of the sun during totality. So with that, there's no doubt. It was the moon. It followed my own prediction for the path of totality, and that is something Flat Earth cannot do. So ask yourself, how am I able to predict it? No one taught me how to predict it. I worked it out for myself based on the orbit of the moon, based on the orbit of Earth around the sun, and sure enough, it worked. Strange how that works, huh?
Yeah, they have no other options but to call it fake. And like I said, Astronomy Live will be here. 82 Productions will be here. But Fifth Element, I'm calling you out. So go ahead and after this, even though this stream is over, just know that the call out remains. We can set up another one of these. Let me know when you're available to back up your accusation that the photo we took is fake. So let life for being here. 82 Productions, say what you guys say.
Oh, I'm going to have fun finishing this up. So keep an eye out. When this logo has been completed, it will be given to Reds, and he will share it out on his social media as sign of approval.
Yep.
Till then, have a good one.
Thank you very much. And like I said, Fifth Element, get back in contact with me. Let's set up another one of these. I would like to hear you justify your accusation. So with that, thank you very much for watching, and have a good night. Peace out. Bye-bye.